who was scheduled to address the United Nations here in New York on Thursday, is asked to move it to Friday. A, do you expect him to show up? And B, what could he say in light of the savage behavior of the IDF? And C, what kind of a reception is he going to get?
The last question is your question. Okay, leave that to the end.
Predict the near-term future, Alastair.
On present basis, I mean, there's no definitive, but on present basis, they say he's not going. He's not going to go because of the escalation that is taking place at the moment. I mean, as I say, now 2 million Israelis are under rocket fire. 1 million spent the night in the protective basements and elsewhere in the bomb shelters. I think it's unlikely that he's probably going to go unless Hezbollah sort of suddenly announced, okay, we'll move from the south and no problem. Of course, that's not going to happen. So, I mean, we're going to see. So, I mean, I think, he will be saying very clearly, the story about 7th of October, how, that is affected, how Israel is under a threat. At the top of the head of the snake lies Iran. We must all join together. It'll be, I think, a sort of repetition of what we had. What the present conflict at the moment, unless it escalates, really depends on two conditions. I think the first one is who has the greatest endurance. It's one element is the endurance of the people. So this is, I mean, is it really the case that the residents of Haifa and Central will be able to sustain the damage, the destruction of their settlements and of their houses? No one is going to school in Israel. They keep getting warnings that they have to go in, they have to go down to the basements and to the safe areas. Every few minutes, these warnings are coming. How long will they endure? How long will the economy endure? And against that, on the other side, you have the Shia, who have a huge, well-known appetite for both sacrifice and loss. I mean, they see these losses as something that it is almost a duty, it's almost a test of your character to be able to absorb losses like this and continue on your path. I mean, this is this whole Shia history for 1,000 years of if you like, suffering, catastrophic killings and massacres, and just pushing through it and continuing on, following their path. It goes right back to the grandson of the Prophet, Ibrahim Hussein. Hussein fought the battle with only 68 men against 3,000 coming from Damascus, went ahead even though he knew the outcome was inevitable. And that is the way, that's why you hear them talking about Karbala, why you hear them talking about Ashura, because they're talking about the experience of the Shia over the years. I think it's highly unlikely you will get any sort of change from Hezbollah. So I think we will see Netanyahu continuing to try and provoke. I mean, perhaps more attempts at assassinations. But, these are not it's not key people are being assassinated. Now, some of them are just, religious figures that are loosely involved with Hezbollah. So who's going to have the endurance for this? How long can it last? And I think, the window is fairly short, because I think Netanyahu understands he is dealing with I'm sorry to say this, but a very weak America. for this period till the 25th of January, in that he can push